see what happens. Oh, now I see it. We are live again.
Part 2.
Welcome to Bam Fight Club Part 2. We are back. Let me just send out that link again. Oh. Damn, technical difficulties.
Ridiculous.
Some were talking about Schnell and Sumadarji. Yeah, so I guess to sum it up, what's your prediction on the Schnell fight?
I don't know where Sumudari came from. Like, I'm looking at his record, and he has some wins, a KO in his last two fights, in his last three fights, one KO, two decisions, two losses before that. Looks like he was fighting in another organization before that, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be able to adjust. Schnell, even though he's the higher ranked fighter, has some interesting results in his last 4 fights. 2 losses, a no contest, and a win. So, but has he been the more active? 2021, 2021, 2022. Yeah, he's been the more active fighter. So I will always go on the side of caution on those kind of fights. The more active guy, he's a higher ranked fighter. Even though he's got some losses, the UFC still sees, a value to his skills by having him ranked number 8. They're looking at their significant strikes, 4 per minute, 4.5. They're not really known to grapple. Takedown accuracy, goes to Sumadari. But he's got also KO TKO ratio that's ridiculous, like 81% of his wins by KO TKO. So it'll be interesting. You kind of know what this is. This seems like it's going to be a striker versus grappler kind of fight. Schnell, 53% of his wins by submission. Grappling, he doesn't have that many takedowns, but I think he's able to do well once it gets to ground, whether it's by his doing or not.
Yeah, so you're picking the underdog on this one? You're picking Schnell?
Yeah, I just want to say, just that experience, that consistency, that activeness. Tibetan Eagle, I don't know, man. All those Eagle names are all some ridiculous kind of fighters. Think of Khabib and all those, fighters from Europe, Asia, that area, are coming and doing very well. And, but Schnell, I'm going to go with Schnell on this one.
I'm going to pick Schnell as well. I'm going to pick the underdog here. I think he's going to be a better grappler, and like you said, he's also been more active, so I'm going to pick him too. So next up on the main card, we've got Jinglang versus Salikov, and pretty close on the odds, not too crazy in favor of either fighter. Jinglang is coming off of a loss against Chimaev, and Salikov is coming off of a lot of wins that I'm seeing here. Five wins. And before that, he had 1 loss, and then before that, he had a huge string of wins. So he's done. He lost his first fight in the UFC, and he's been on the win streak since. On this one, I'm kind of surprised that the odds are what they are. I mean, Jinglang has more experience, more fights in the UFC. He's had 4 total losses in the UFC. So his win ratio is not terrible, but it's not the best either. And as far as stats go, I mean, in terms of the matchup, not talking about styles, but they seem fairly similar. Thing that's interesting here is Salikov is coming out of Russia, Jinglang coming out of China. Definitely don't see that matchup in the UFC very often at all, so that's kind of interesting. I think neither one of them speak very good English, and Now, either one of them speaks the other. Salakov speaks Chinese and vice versa. On Jingling speaking Russia, so they're not going to be able to talk very effective. Talk smack in the ring very effectively. I feel in this one. It's not really going to be much of a mental game if they're not communicating too much. This one, I'm leaning towards Salikov, though. I mean, he's a slight favorite. I just feel like there's going to be more grappling. He's coming out of Russia. He's going to have that strong, Russian grappling foundation to his fight style. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting nickname. We didn't see much from Lee his last fight. He fought Kamzat, and he got fought. I don't know if he fought, but like he was fought against because he did nothing. I think he might have I don't think he threw a strike or landed a strike. So with that being said, like that's just a hard fight to gauge off of it. He was doing well before then. Looking at his win by KO TKO, I definitely expect somebody who's again a European guy coming over here, Muslim, interesting name. He's probably gonna grapple. He's from Russia.
I want to correct you, Fern. In Jing Lang's last fight, he attempted one strike. He didn't land any, but he did attempt one strike according to the stats.
I thought you were gonna correct me about Muslim, and I was like, oh, the geography's off. But he's from Russia. But yeah, he attempted a strike, and after seeing a fight like that, I would expect any of his future opponents to come with that kind of game plan, unless he's managed to get really good at takedowns. Of course, Kamzat is ridiculously strong, ridiculously talented. He joins wrestling tournaments. He stays active, learning and honing those skills, and but with that, I would say, who do the odds makers have as a favorite? I would pick Muslim on it, just based off his skills and strengths.
He's the slight favorite.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think given the last fight, if he's got strong grappling, he's gonna have the edge. It seems like so. Yeah. We'll see how that one plays out. The co-main event, very interesting. Michelle Waterson. Now I guess it's Waterson Gomez because she's married. I forget her last name. Versus Amanda Lemos. And definitely, as Miesha Tate did in her last two fights. I feel like Waterson, she also had a kind of a comeback a bit. Or actually, no, she wasn't out for too long. She just wasn't super active. But her last few fights, they've been competitive.
By decision, man.
But there was never a point at which, I thought like she had a big advantage. She had that win over Angela Hill. She's lost 3 of her last 4 fights. I mean, they're tough ones. She's gone against Esparza, Jacek, and Marina Rodriguez. But I feel like Miesha Tate has been the more exciting fighter to watch. Although I guess one of the interesting things about Michelle Waterson is she has that really weird thing when she gets hit and she gets hurt that she smiles and seems to enjoy it. So I don't know if she she seems to enjoy pain. I don't know what that's about. But Amanda Lemos, man, she's looked good. I mean, she's coming off a loss against Jessica Andrade, but it's Andrade. But before that, she has win over Angela Hill, win over Granger. Not super big names, but I thought she's looked really good in her last several fights. So I feel like the odds makers have it right that they're favoring Lemos. It is interesting. Negative 340. It's very much leaning in favor of Lemos. What are your thoughts on this one?
Lemos, I think, has the ability to come and be like an Amanda Nunes. He's super strong, super aggressive. That last fight where she was submitted in that standing triangle was ridiculous. I thought she was winning up until that point and then just got too close. Michelle Waterson Gomez, I think something needs to happen with that camp because she's training with Holly Holm. It's where John Jones used to train. They have Clarissa Shields, who's like considered one of the best pro boxers of all time, current champion in boxing, transitioning to MMA. But they love to post on social media them doing like fun workouts, having fun, doing flips, doing kicks, doing all this stuff. Like, yeah, and then they just don't go out and perform well. Like it's just like they're learning how to point fight with each other. I was, kind of disappointed by Holly Holm's last performance, Michelle Watterson's last performances as well. Like she's a karate hottie. You are doing nothing karate. You are not, like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson out there, or any of these other people who are coming from that foundation. It's just I don't know. Just decide what you want to do because you're getting up there in age and somebody who's up and coming and hungry is gonna demolish you if you take them lightly. And I would agree. And well, in my opinion, I hope Amanda Lemos wins because she's shown some brutal skills and that she can kind of compete and hang and just her last fight just got too close and got caught and just went to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes down. Let's talk about the main event of the evening. Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. Pretty close to the odds. Ortega coming in as a slight favorite at -170. Ortega, coming off of that loss against Volkanovski. Man, what a war. Anytime you've got someone coming off of a fight like that, you've got to wonder, is it going to impact them? Is there going to be, long-term consequences? Is it going to change their, mental attitude? He's only got 2 losses in his whole record. They're, good people to lose to. Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski, who clearly are the 2 best guys in the division. I mean, both amazing fighters. But man, coming off of that fight with Volkanovski, he took so much punishment. His face just looked mangled. He was close to winning. I mean, he was competitive in the sense that, at least for the first few rounds, I feel like, there was a couple of times where he could have finished Volkanovski. He got him into the submission, seemed like he had it locked in, seemed like it was a done deal. And then Volkanovski just, does what he does and somehow just busts out of it and keeps going and just started raining down strikes on Ortega. Rodriguez coming off of a loss against Max Holloway. So, both of these guys are coming off of, coming off of losses to great guys. With Holloway. Before that, had a win against Jeremy Stevens, and as Rodriguez, has lots of notable wins over File, Caceres, BJ Penn, and just a great record, a great fighter, and Ortega, obviously a great submission artist. His striking though did look pretty good in not in his last fight against Volkanovski, but in his comeback fight, the fight before that against Sung Jung, where it seemed like he'd really done some work in the striking department because he looked very, very clean and technical in his striking game. And he's been a guy who's known for his submissions. So he's still evolving, still learning, still getting better, it seems like. And what are your thoughts on Ortega? Him coming off of that last fight. Do you think
Ortega's got to be tired, man? Like he's got to be tired. Like you just got to think his showing against Frankie Edgar was amazing, and his showing against Max Holloway was disheartening. He got beat the whole time, and then only for him to come back and do the same to the Korean Zombie, right? Like just it wasn't close. He beat him up. He had him rocked multiple times. And then the fight against Volkanovski, like I don't know, like he's obviously high level, and then it just shows the highest level guys are so much better, are just putting whoopings on him. Yair Rodriguez, he's consistent. I think he's skillful. I hope they keep it standing. It'll be very entertaining. I see Ortega coming out on top though because he's hopefully learned a lot from those fights and those strikes he's absorbed. Like he's got hit every which way you can possibly get hit fighting and losing those 2 fights. Whereas Yair, I think he still has yet to besides fighting Holloway, like Ortega is going to be his highest ranked opponent at this point, right? Um, so yeah, well, maybe Edgar at the time, but he's got wins over BJ Penn, Alex Caceres, Andre Fili, Dan Hooker. Uh, but I think Ortega.
I'm very confused, actually, with Rodriguez. Sorry to put it real quick, but it says that he won a championship fight at UFC 180. So Rodriguez is a former champion, but it was his first fight in the UFC. I don't know. Maybe ESPN is got their stats wrong.
Yeah, because that was he beat Leonardo Morales on the Verdun versus Hunt card, and there's no way that guy was anything. Like, I don't even know if that guy's still fighting in the UFC, man. It was a one and done fight. But Pantera, okay. Man, I love this. If any of you guys are Spanish speaking or anything like that, we'll be doing a breakdown in Spanish. Because of this, Brian Ortega has a lot of Spanish-speaking fans. Yair Rodriguez, obviously, we're trying to get more people into watching this, and excited to do that after this stream ends. But yeah, man, I think this is going to be interesting that they chose a East Coast location for two West Coast Latino fighters. You would think put them in the Staples Center and it'd just be just craziness. But yeah, we'll see. I hope that the East Coast can live up to the West Coast, because I know Brian Ortega, anytime he fights in on the West Coast, it's just crazy. And very excited for this. I see Ortega's skills just being too much. He's just faced a better opposition and learned hopefully from those, because every time he's lost, he's come back and did that to somebody. And he lost pretty bad last time, but people say he was the closest person to beating Volkanovski. So maybe this will be his chance to show that he belongs there. I don't know if beating Yair is how would you say will be a claim to a title shot, but if he does so in a stunning fashion, and there's no one else, why not? Because I don't know about him and Holloway. Maybe him and Holloway part 2. I don't know. I don't know. Just Volkanovski, just
Holloway and Volkanovski. they've got a. I don't know what. They're just gonna be stuck at the top. I feel like
it's gonna be
until they're done.
Covington, Usman.
Neither one of those guys are super old. yeah. We could see 3. We could see 4. Who knows? Yeah, will be interesting. So yeah, I'm picking Ortega. I think he's gonna pull this one out, and then I don't know what his next step is, so I guess we'll have to see. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like Fern said, stay tuned. We'll be getting another stream going up here shortly, the Spanish version.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say, Fern?
No, see you in a couple minutes. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. I don't know if we got to start doing TikTok dances or what, but something. We'll go.